Chapter 1. There was only one rule written on the wall. Do not answer when the bride calls your name. I read it twice, slowly, committing every word to memory. Rules exist for a reason. In places like this, they exist because something has already gone wrong. The lights flickered above me, buzzing softly before dimming into darkness. When they came back, the cramped fortune-telling booth I rented was gone, replaced by a long hallway lined with red lanterns. They swayed slightly even though the air was still. I inhaled carefully. The scent hit immediately. Old wood, dust, and something metallic underneath, faint but unmistakable. Blood or something close enough that my brain did not bother correcting itself. Right, I muttered quietly, forcing myself to stay calm. A sharp chime echoed, too clean for this place. Text appeared in front of my eyes, not on a screen but suspended in the air itself. It flickered once before stabilizing, like something struggling to fully load into reality. Red veil activated. Domain, wedding manor. Objective, survive until dawn. Of course, I said under my breath, 'cause that is completely normal. More text followed, faster this time, like it did not want to be seen too clearly. Rules appeared one by one. Do not answer when the bride calls your name. Do not enter the bridal room after midnight. Do not wear red. The final line flickered once, then everything vanished, leaving the hallway feeling heavier than before. A door creaked open behind me. I turned as a man stepped out, mid-30s, eyes already darting like he was looking for an exit that did not exist. He saw me and immediately walked closer, his voice tense and rushed. "Hey, did you see that?" he asked quickly. The text, the rules, whatever that was. "Yeah," I said simply. More doors opened one after another until 5 of us stood in the hallway, each pretending not to panic. "No signal," someone muttered, staring at their phone. "This has to be staged," another said, though her voice lacked conviction. I did not argue. People like certainty even when it is fake. I should know that better than anyone. Then the hallway changed. Not visibly, but the silence shifted. Footsteps echoed from the far end, slow and measured, like someone walking without any urgency. Every step landed too clearly, deliberately, as if it wanted to be heard. Step, step, step. The sound grew closer, steady and unhurried. Then a voice followed, soft and gentle. Close enough that it felt like it was breathing against our backs. "Daniel." The man beside me stiffened instantly, his body locking up. "That is me," he said, his voice trembling. "How does it know my name?" I did not turn. My eyes stayed forward, but my mind had already caught up. Rule number 1, do not answer. Do not respond, I said quietly. "What?" he asked. "Just do not." The voice came again, closer now. "Daniel." His breathing grew uneven, shallow and quick. "It does not sound dangerous," he said, almost convincing himself. "Maybe it just wants something." He turned. Yeah, something moved, too fast to follow. A flash of red crossed my vision and then nothing. He was gone. No sound, no body, no trace. Just empty space where he had been standing a second ago. The girl let out a broken gasp, her voice barely holding together. No one spoke after that. We did not need to. The rule was not a warning. It was a fact. Time stretched strangely, heavy and distorted. No one moved much. No one spoke unless they had to. Even breathing felt too loud, like it might draw attention we could not see. Then the voice came again, softer this time, but unmistakable. "Jisoo." My name, calm, quiet, right behind me. My pulse jumped once, sharp and sudden, but I forced it down immediately. Panic clouds judgment, and right now thinking clearly was the only thing keeping me alive. The others turned toward me, their faces pale. "Do not," the girl whispered. I did not move, not yet. Something felt different. The voice was not rushed, not hungry, not desperate. It was waiting. For me. Everyone else had reacted the same way. Fear first, thinking later. That was why they died. If this was a rule, then it was not random. And if it was not random, then it could be understood. My fingers relaxed slightly at my side. "Let us see," I murmured quietly. Then I turned. Yes, the temperature dropped instantly. Cold spread through the air, sinking into my skin in a way that did not feel natural. She was standing there, close enough that I could see every detail. A woman in a red wedding dress, the fabric old and layered, heavy with dark stains that had dried long ago. Her hair fell loose over her shoulders. Her skin was pale, too pale, almost lifeless. But her eyes were clear, focused, locked onto me with a kind of attention that felt personal. Her hand lifted slightly, then stopped just short of touching me. "You," she said softly. Not confused, not surprised, recognizing. Behind me, someone choked back a scream, but I did not look away. She tilted her head, studying me carefully, like she was comparing something. Then, slowly, she reached out again. This time her fingers brushed my cheek. Cold, the kind that lingered. "You are shaking," she said. I was not until she touched me. She did not grab me or pull me closer. She just watched like she was waiting for something. "You answered me," she said quietly. A pause followed. Then softer. "Good." Behind her the air shifted, the hallway stretching slightly, shadows bending along the walls. In front of me she did not move, did not attack. She just stayed. And that was when I understood. This was not a game about survival, it was about her. And somehow, I had already been chosen. Chapter 2. No one moved after she spoke. The hallway felt tighter now, like the walls had shifted closer without actually moving. Even breathing felt loud, like the sound alone might draw her attention again. The others stayed frozen, watching, waiting. She stood in front of me, close enough that I could feel the cold radiating from her skin. It was not freezing. It was deeper than that. Something that did not belong. She did not look at anyone else, only me. Her gaze stayed fixed, unblinking and steady. It was not empty. It was focused, like she was comparing me to something only she could see. Behind me someone whispered, asking why she was not killing me. I kept my voice low and controlled, because she has not decided to. That was the truth, at least for now. Her hand lifted slightly, slow and careful, as if testing a limit that only she understood. For a moment I thought she would grab me. She did not. Her fingers stopped just short of my shoulder. It was not hesitation or fear. It felt more like she had reached a boundary she could not cross. "You are not running," she said softly. Her voice was gentle, but slightly off, like it came a fraction too late. I answered calmly, "I do not think running would help." Silence followed between us. Then the faintest curve touched her lips. Correct. A sharp breath came from behind me. The girl stepped forward slightly, her voice shaking as she begged to be let go. The bride did not respond or even look at her. To her, they did not exist. That was the first real answer I got. A man moved suddenly, too fast and too nervous. "She is focused on her," he said. "That means she will not attack if we stay near her." I already knew what he was about to do. "Do not," I said. He ignored me. His hand grabbed my arm hard, pulling me toward him. "Then we use her," he said. Everything went quiet, deeper than sound. The moment his grip tightened, the air changed. She moved without warning. 1 second she stood in front of me. The next, she was behind him. Her hand rested lightly on his shoulder. "Let go," she said softly. Calm, almost gentle. He froze, his voice shaking as he forced out a response. "Or what?" For a brief second, nothing happened. Then his body jerked violently. A wet, tearing sound broke the silence. His grip on my arm vanished instantly. I stepped back as he collapsed. No scream, no struggle, just stillness. The smell followed a second later, fresh and metallic. The girl staggered backward, whispering in horror. No one moved toward him, no one checked. We all understood what had happened. She stood there quietly as if nothing had changed. Her head tilted slightly, like she was listening to something distant. Then she turned back to me, calm again, like the moment before had never happened. "You should not let them touch you," she said. I kept my voice steady. I was not planning to. A brief pause followed. Her gaze softened slightly, almost approving. Good. Something flickered in front of my eyes, sharp and unstable. Error. Rule violation detected. Unable to correct. The text glitched violently before vanishing. I stared at the empty air, my thoughts aligning quickly. So the system saw it, and it could not stop it. "You are not part of the rules," I said quietly. She stepped closer instead of answering. Close enough that I could see faint cracks beneath her skin, like something fragile held together by force. "I am where I should be," she said. That was not an answer. Behind me, someone whispered that she killed him because of me. Another voice followed, blaming me. I did not turn. Their fear had changed. It was no longer just directed at her. It was directed at me. That made sense. From their perspective, I was the problem. The one she did not kill. The one she reacted to. I exhaled slowly. I needed information, not panic. "Stay close," she said softly. I looked at her. Her expression had not changed, still calm, still certain, but something beneath it felt tighter. "Or I will not be able to protect you." Protect. I glanced at the body on the floor. The blood spreading slowly beneath him, and the others backing away from me. "That is not protection," I said. She tilted her head slightly, considering. "It is," she replied. Silence followed, heavy and unresolved because neither of us fully believed that. Her hand lifted again, this time adjusting the sleeve of my shirt. It was a small, careful movement. "You should not be hurt," she said. Behind her, the hallway shifted, the walls stretching longer, shadows deepening, as if the space itself responded to her presence. I stayed still, but the answer was clear now. She was not just protecting me, she was separating me, and the closer I stayed to her, the harder it would be to leave. Chapter 3. No one came closer after that. The space around me stayed empty, like an invisible boundary had formed. The others kept their distance, watching me the way people watch something unstable, something they do not fully understand but know is dangerous. I did not blame them. From where they stood, I was the reason someone had just died. She remained beside me, silent and still, not guarding the hallway or watching the others. Watching me. I let the silence stretch. Not because I was calm, but because I needed time to think. Rules, patterns, limits. If this place followed rules, then it could be understood. And if it could be understood, it could be used. I shifted slightly, taking a step forward. Nothing happened. Another step. Still nothing. She moved with me, not touching, not blocking, just following. That told me something important. She was not tied to a location. She was tied to me. I glanced down the hallway. The lanterns flickered softly, their light uneven now, casting shadows that did not quite match the objects around them. Something about this space felt wrong, like distance itself was unreliable. "There is another rule," I said quietly. She did not respond. "Do not enter the bridal room after midnight." Silence followed. I looked at her. "Where is it?" For a moment she said nothing. Then she turned slowly and began to walk. I followed. Not because I trusted her, but because this was the first clear answer I had been given. The others did not move. Someone whispered behind me, questioning the decision. I did not stop. If they wanted to survive, they could follow. If not, that was their choice. The hallway stretched further than it should have. Every step felt slightly off, like space shifted when I was not looking directly at it. But she walked without hesitation. That mattered more than anything else. We stopped in front of a door. It was different from the others. Darker wood, faded carvings, red paper seals peeling at the edges. Even without the rule, I would have known. This was the bridal room. I did not reach for the handle immediately. I glanced at her. She was already watching me, waiting, like this was another test. "If I open it now," I said quietly, "nothing happens. No reaction. Because the rule only applies after midnight." Still nothing. That was not confirmation, but it was not denial either. "Good enough." I reached out. My hand paused just before touching the door, then I pushed it open. Nothing happened. No sudden movement, no sound, no attack. The room was dark, but not empty. The air inside felt heavier, thicker, like it had not been disturbed in a long time. I stepped in slowly. She followed. Of course she did. The room was simple. A bed, a table, a mirror, all covered in a thin layer of dust, except the center of the room. The floor there was clean, too clean, like something had been dragged across it repeatedly. I crouched slightly, studying the marks. They were not random. A pattern back and forth like someone pacing, waiting. My chest tightened slightly. I stood and moved toward the table. A small object rested there, delicate and still. A hairpin, silver, worn with time. I picked it up carefully. Cold, but not like her. This was different. Older. As soon as I touched it, something flickered. Not in the room, but in my mind. A brief image surfaced. Red lanterns, a door, someone standing outside, waiting. Then nothing. The feeling vanished instantly. I exhaled slowly. "Memory," I murmured. "Not mine." I turned the hairpin slightly on my fingers. There was something engraved on it, faint and worn. A single character, unclear but deliberate. It was not random, it meant something. Behind me, she stepped closer. I did not turn. "You were waiting," I said quietly. Silence. "You're still waiting." A pause followed, then a soft answer. "Yes." Her voice was quieter now, closer, more focused. "For someone," I continued. This time she did not answer, but she did not deny it either. That was enough. I slipped the hairpin into my pocket. The air shifted again. Text flickered in front of my eyes. Condition updated. Clue discovered. It stabilized briefly before fading, so this was part of the system. Not just survival, but understanding. Behind me, the hallway creaked, like the building itself was reacting. I turned slightly. She was closer now. Too close. Her gaze dropped briefly to my pocket, then returned to my face. "You will stay," she said. Not a question, but a statement. I met her eyes. "I have not decided that," I replied. Silence followed. Then a faint shift in her expression, something tightening beneath the surface. The room felt smaller, like it was closing in. I stepped back toward the door slowly, testing. She did not stop me, but she followed. Of course she did. That confirmed it. She would not force me, but she would not leave me either. I stepped out into the hallway again. The others were still there, watching, waiting. This time, when they looked at me, it was not just fear. It was expectation. I exhaled quietly. Good. That meant I was no longer just surviving. I was ahead. And for the first time I understood what this place really was. Not a game, a story that had not ended. And now I was part of it. Chapter 4. The hallway felt different when I stepped out. Not quieter, not darker, tighter. Like something had noticed the change. The others were still there, exactly where I had left them, but their eyes followed me now with something sharper than fear. "You went inside," the girl said, her voice unsteady. "And you came back." "I did," I replied. "What is in there?" someone else asked. I did not answer immediately, because the truth was simple, but not useful to give away freely. "Clues," I said finally. That was enough. Their expressions changed instantly, fear mixing with something sharper. Greed. Behind me, she stepped closer. I felt it before I saw it, the cold settling deeper into the space around me. "You should not tell them," she said softly. I did not turn. "They were going to find out eventually," I replied. Silence followed. Then she spoke again, quieter. "They do not need to understand." That was not concern, that was control. I glanced at her. Her eyes were steady, but something beneath them felt tighter, like something being pulled too far. "Understanding is the only way to leave," I said. Her expression did not change. "You do not need to leave." That was the first time she said it directly. I held her gaze. "That is not your choice." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the lantern above us flickered violently. Shadows stretched along the walls, distorting unnaturally before snapping back into place. Her eyes darkened slightly, not anger, but resistance. Then she looked away, and the pressure eased. Good. That meant something. She could not force the outcome, not completely. "Show us," the man near the back said suddenly. "If there are clues, we should all see them." I looked at him. He was trying to sound calm, but I could hear the calculation behind it. "If you come with me," I said, "you follow the rules." A pause followed. "No sudden moves, no touching anything without thinking." "And if we do?" he asked. I glanced at her. "You already know what happens." Silence fell again. That was enough. 3 of them followed slowly, carefully, while she walked beside me at the same distance as before. The hallway shifted again as we moved, stretching slightly between steps, like the space resisted being crossed too quickly. We reached the room. The door was still open. Nothing had changed, except the air felt heavier. "Stay near the door," I said. None of them argued. Good. I stepped inside again. The marks on the floor were still there. The table, the mirror, the bed, all unchanged except for one thing. The mirror, it was not reflecting the room properly. The angle was wrong. The space behind me looked deeper than it should have been. I moved closer. The reflection shifted, not following me exactly, lagging slightly. "Do you see that?" the girl whispered. "I see it," I said. I reached toward the mirror. Her voice came immediately. Do not. I paused, then turned slightly toward her. You do not like this one, I said. Silence followed. Then she spoke, quieter than before. It remembers. That was new. I lowered my hand slightly. What does it remember? No answer came, but her gaze shifted toward the table, toward where I had found the hairpin. I followed her line of sight, then looked back at the others. Search carefully, I said. Do not rush. They spread out slowly. No one touched the mirror. Good. The girl moved toward the bed. There is something here, she said quietly. I stepped closer as she lifted the fabric carefully. Something fell out. A folded piece of paper, old and fragile. I crouched and picked it up, unfolding it slowly as the edges crumbled slightly under my fingers. The ink had faded, but not completely. If you do not come tonight, I will go alone, I read softly. The room felt colder. Who wrote that? The girl asked. I did not answer because I already knew. She was waiting, I said quietly. Behind me the air shifted. I did not turn. For someone who did not come. Silence followed, heavy and sharp. Then a soft sound came. Not footsteps, but breathing, closer than before. She was supposed to leave, I continued. Not stay. The temperature dropped again. The lantern outside flickered violently. Stop, someone whispered behind me. Just stop talking. I did not, because this mattered. Because this was the truth. She did not abandon you, I said quietly. That was a guess, but it felt right. Her expression changed. For the first time, it cracked, not fully, but enough. You do not know that, she said, her voice lower, closer, more human. I will find out, I replied. Silence followed. Then the tension eased slightly, not gone, but less. Like something had shifted. Her gaze dropped briefly to the paper in my hand. Then back to me. You will stay, she said again, softer this time. I folded the paper carefully and held her gaze. I will stay until I understand, I said. That was the closest thing to agreement I could give. She did not respond, but she did not resist either. Behind me, the others watched in silence, no one speaking or moving, because now they understood something too. This was not just a place to survive, it was a story, and I had stepped into the center of it. Chapter 5. No one spoke after that. The room felt heavier, like the air itself had thickened around us. Even the others seemed to understand something had shifted, something they did not fully grasp but knew was dangerous. I stepped away from the bed slowly and carefully. She followed, always the same distance, not touching and not stopping me, but never letting that space close. Behind me, the others stayed near the door, not out of caution, but fear, of her, and now of me. We should leave this room, the man said quietly. If this is where it started, it is probably where it gets worse. He was not wrong, but he was not thinking far enough. If this is where it started, I said, then this is where the answers are. Silence followed before the girl spoke again. Answers will not matter if we die first, she said. That was fear talking. Understandable, but incomplete. I turned toward the door. We moved together, I said. No one separates. A pause followed. Why should we listen to you? The man asked. I looked at him calmly. You should not, I said, but you should listen to the rules. That shut him up immediately. Because we all knew what happened when people ignored them. We stepped into the hallway again. The space had changed. The lanterns were dimmer now, the shadows deeper. The distance between doors felt longer than before, like the manor itself was stretching, reacting. She is getting stronger, the girl whispered. I did not answer because I was thinking the same thing. Then we stay close to you, the man said suddenly. I stopped and turned slowly. That is not a good idea, I said. It worked before, he replied quickly. She protects you. Protect, that word again, that is not protection, I said. It kept you alive, he snapped, stepping closer. Too close. Again. The air shifted instantly, cold flooding the space between us. She moved, not fast this time, but deliberate. She stepped between us, blocking him completely. You should not come closer, she said softly. Her voice was calm, but something sharper sat beneath it. The man froze, not because he wanted to, but because something in the air forced him to. I'm just trying to survive, he said, forcing the words out. You're making a mistake. Silence followed. Then she spoke again. She is mine. Everything stopped. Not just sound, something deeper. The hallway, the shadows, even breathing seemed to pause. The word echoed longer than it should have. Mine. I felt it, not just heard it. The man stepped back immediately, fear overtaking whatever calculation he had before. I did not mean anything, he said quickly. We are just trying to work together. She did not respond, but she did not move away either. Still between us, still watching him. Then, slowly, she turned back to me. Her expression softened, the tension shifting. You should stay close, she said quietly. I met her gaze. That is not the same as being yours, I replied. Silence followed. The lantern above us flickered sharply. The walls creaked, the space tightening for a brief moment before settling again. Her eyes darkened slightly, not anger, something deeper, something that did not know how to respond. You will stay, she repeated, softer now, like she was convincing herself. I did not answer. This was the line, and I was not ready to cross it. Behind me, the others shifted uneasily. They were watching us now, not the space, not the shadows, but us. Do you see that? The girl whispered. She is not attacking her. She is guarding her, someone else said. That means we stay near her, the man added quickly. I exhaled slowly. Here it comes. The decision I could not avoid. If you stay near me, I said, you follow what I say. A pause followed. No arguments, no sudden moves. And if we do not, he asked. I glanced at her. You already know, that was enough. They agreed not because they trusted me, but because they feared the alternative. We moved together, carefully and slowly through the shifting hallway. She stayed beside me, always watching, always listening. The manor stretched again as we walked. Doors shifted. Walls creaked. The place was changing, or waking up. Either way, we were running out of time. I needed more information, more clues, before she decided for me. Because now it was clear. She was not just protecting me. She was claiming me. And if I let that happen, there would be no leaving. Chapter 6. The manor did not feel the same anymore. The walls creaked more often now, and the lanterns flickered without rhythm. It felt like something inside the place had been disturbed, something waking up that should have stayed buried. We moved slowly through the hallway. No one spoke. Not because they had nothing to say, but because they were waiting for me to speak first. That was new, and it meant the balance had shifted. I stopped in front of a narrow side corridor. The air there felt colder, but not her cold. This was different, something older, something that did not belong to her. This way, I said. No one argued. She followed beside me, always the same distance, always watching. The corridor ended at a smaller door. Unlike the others, this one was locked, sealed with a thin strip of red paper. I crouched slightly. The paper was brittle and old, not part of the system. Something from before. I am opening it, I said quietly. No one stopped me, not even her. That told me enough. I peeled the seal away. The moment it broke, the air shifted sharply. Warning, domain instability increasing. The text flickered violently, then disappeared. I pushed the door open slowly. The room inside was smaller than the bridal chamber. Dust covered everything except the floor near the wall. That part was clean, disturbed, like something had been hidden there for a long time. I stepped inside while the others stayed near the entrance. Good. Less variables. I moved toward the wall and ran my fingers along the surface until I found it. A loose panel. I pulled it open and something fell out. A small bundle wrapped in cloth. I picked it up carefully and unfolded it slowly, my attention fixed on what it contained. Inside was a second hairpin, matching the first. Beneath it was a letter, older than the one from before. The ink had bled in places, but the words were still readable. My chest tightened slightly as I began to read. I will come tonight. Wait for me at the back gate. Silence followed, heavy and immediate. The girl near the door spoke in a whisper. So she was coming. I kept reading. If they find out, they will not let me live. My grip tightened slightly around the paper as the weight of the words settled in. I do not care. I will still come. The last line was uneven, rushed, written in desperation. Trust me. The air shifted violently around us as the truth began to surface. The lantern outside shattered. Glass scattered across the floor. Behind me, I felt her presence change. Not calm anymore, not controlled. Unstable. She came, I said quietly. No response. She tried to come. The walls creaked, the floor trembling slightly beneath us. Stop, someone whispered behind me, fear breaking through their voice. I did not stop. Because this mattered. Because this was the truth. They did not let her, I continued. The temperature dropped sharply, forcing the others to back away. I turned slowly to face her. She was standing there, closer than before, too close. Her eyes were no longer steady. They flickered, like something inside her was breaking apart. No, she said softly. Her voice was strained, fragile. She did not leave you, I said. Her head shook slightly. She did, she insisted. She tried to come, I repeated. The room shook harder. Dust fell from the ceiling. The door slammed shut behind us. Error. Condition failure detected. The text glitched violently before vanishing. You do not know that, she said. Her voice was uneven now, no longer calm, no longer distant. Human. I stepped closer carefully, aware of how unstable everything had become. She was stopped, I said. Everything points to it. Silence followed. Her breathing was uneven, shallow, like she did not remember how. Then she asked the question that mattered most. Then why did she not reach me? I held her gaze, steady despite the pressure building in the room. Because someone made sure she could not, I answered. The room went still, not calm, but waiting. Knowing is not the same as letting go. Something in her expression cracked slightly, not fully, but enough to matter. Was it wrong? She asked softly. I did not answer immediately. Loving her, she continued, her voice quieter now. In my time, it was not allowed. I exhaled slowly. There is nothing wrong with it, I said. She looked up at me, uncertainty in her eyes. Nothing? She asked. Nothing, I repeated. A quiet pause settled between us. You were born in a time that did not understand it, I said. A time that would not allow it, she replied. Yes, I said. In my world, women loving women is not strange, I continued. Her gaze shifted slightly. There are others? She asked. Many, I said. She stared at me, searching. And you? She asked. I met her eyes. I like women, I said. A small pause followed. And men. Her head tilted slightly, processing. Both? She asked. Yes. That is allowed? She asked. It is, I replied. The tension in the room eased slightly, not gone, but softer. I wish I could see it, she said quietly. You can, I said. She stilled. How? She asked. I will show you, I replied. For the first time, she did not answer immediately. Her expression changed slowly, not breaking, not collapsing, softening. You would stay, she said, something closer to hope in her voice. I did not answer yet because that answer would decide everything. Behind us, the door creaked open again. The hallway stretched endlessly beyond it. Final condition approaching. The text flickered once, then vanished. I exhaled slowly. It was time. Chapter 7. The manor was no longer stable. The walls trembled in uneven waves, and the lanterns flickered without pattern. It felt like something inside the place was losing control. She stood in front of me, no longer calm or distant. She was unsteady. Do not leave, she said, her voice softer now, no longer commanding but afraid. I did not answer immediately. I understood now. She was not trying to trap me. She was trying not to be left behind again. I tightened my grip around the hairpin. The metal felt heavier now, not just an object but a memory. I turned it slightly, letting the engraving catch the light. May, I said. Everything stopped. Not slowed, not weakened. Stopped. The trembling, the sound, even the air itself seemed to freeze in place around us. She froze as well. Her eyes locked onto mine, no longer distant but present. That name, she whispered, her voice trembling like something buried too long had been forced to the surface. It is yours, I said. Silence followed, then a fracture, not in the manor, but in her. May, I repeated, steady and certain. The lanterns flickered again, softer this time, like they recognized it. Her lips parted as her expression shifted. Pain, recognition, something breaking through the surface. May, she echoed quietly. That was my name. The air changed. Not unstable anymore, but settling. For the first time, she was not just the bride. She was someone who had been waiting. Someone who had been lost. I stepped closer slowly. She did not move away. She did not reach for me either. She simply stood there, caught between what she was and what she had forgotten. She did not leave you, I said. Her gaze trembled. She tried to come. Silence followed. I waited, giving her the space to process what she had held on to for so long. I waited, she said softly. I know, I replied. I kept waiting. I know. Her voice broke slightly. And she never came. I held her gaze without looking away. She could not, I said. A long pause followed, heavy but no longer suffocating. Then her shoulders lowered, not in defeat, but release. Then I do not need to wait anymore, she said. The manor reacted instantly. The walls steadied, the lanterns dimmed, and the air softened. It felt like something had finally been completed, something that had been unfinished for too long. She looked at me again, not desperate or unstable, but clear. Jisoo, she said, my name soft and certain. I nodded slightly, grounding myself in the moment. I cannot stay, I said, no hesitation this time, no doubt. She did not react immediately. Then her hand lifted slightly, stopping just short of touching me. I know, she said softly. No resistance, no attempt to hold me in place. The space between us felt different now, not pulling, not trapping, but letting go. I stepped back slowly. She did not follow. For the first time, she stayed where she was. The hallway behind me opened, light spilling through the distance. I turned and took a step forward. Then a sound came from behind me, soft but clear. Do not forget me, she said. I paused but did not turn back. I will not, I replied. The light swallowed everything. A soft chime echoed, clear and final. Text appeared in front of me, stable and complete. Domain complete. Wedding manor cleared. More lines followed, one after another, each confirming what had been achieved inside that place. Story completion achieved. Hidden truth discovered. Unfinished wish resolved. The text shifted again, slower now, more deliberate. Special condition met. Entity recognition confirmed. A pause followed before the final line appeared, lingering longer than the rest. Hidden route unlocked. Emotional synchronization established. Final rank S. The message stayed for a moment before fading. Then one last line appeared, quieter than the others. Connection preserved. The text disappeared completely, leaving only silence behind. The manor vanished. The cold remained for a moment, faint but real, before fading. Or maybe not completely gone, just no longer as strong. Chapter 8. I opened my eyes slowly. The ceiling above me was familiar, white, and plain. My shop. The smell of incense returned first, faint but comforting, grounding me in something normal after everything that had happened. I stayed still for a few seconds, listening carefully. No footsteps, no whispers, no cold presence pressing against my skin, just silence. I am back, I said quietly, though the words felt too simple. I pushed myself up slowly, scanning the room. Everything looked the same. The table, the chair, the curtain. Nothing had changed. But something felt off, subtle, like the air itself had shifted. I exhaled slowly. Check, I murmured. I reached for my phone. The screen lit up normally, no glitches, no strange messages, just time, notifications, and reality as it should be. I unlocked it and opened the browser. My fingers paused briefly before typing. Wedding manor? Search? Nothing. Just hotels, venues, normal results. I tried again. Red Veil. Still nothing useful. Of course, I thought, if something like that was public, it would not stay hidden, or maybe it was being hidden. I set the phone down and reached for the table instead. My fingers brushed the surface, and something flickered. A brief image, sharp and sudden, a hand gripping wood. Blood, then nothing. I pulled my hand back instantly, my pulse quickening. Again I whispered. I touched the table once more, focusing this time. The image returned, stronger. A man arguing, a raised voice, tension. Then it vanished just as quickly. I exhaled slowly, not imagination, not memory. Something else. Residual, I said quietly. Not seeing the present, but what remained. That was new, and it was mine now. I flexed my fingers slightly. Useful, I murmured, but dangerous. because that meant nothing I touched was just an object anymore. Everything held something beneath the surface. The room felt colder, just slightly. I froze. That had not been there before. No, I said quietly. I turned toward the mirror slowly, carefully, watching my reflection. It stared back at me, normal and still. Then for a fraction of a second something moved behind me. I turned immediately. Nothing. Empty room. I looked back at the mirror again. Just me. Right, I muttered under my breath. Not gone, just quieter. I stepped closer, studying the reflection carefully. If you are there, I said softly, do not do that. Silence followed. No answer. But the air remained colder, enough to confirm it. That was enough. I stepped back and reached into my pocket. The hairpin, still there. I held it in my hand. The metal felt cold, familiar, not empty. May, I said quietly. The room did not react, but the cold deepened slightly. Not around me, but closer, like something had leaned in. I did not move. You are still here, I said. No answer came, but I did not expect one. Not yet. I placed the hairpin down carefully, then picked up my phone again. This time I typed slower, more deliberate. People disappear suddenly. Search. Nothing useful. Too vague. I changed my approach. Strange survival stories. I scrolled through results, forums, blogs, most of it nonsense. Stories, creepypasta, things that felt fake. But one link stood out. No title, just numbers. Old, almost buried. I tapped it. The page loaded slowly, plain background, no images, just text. Threads, dozens of them, stretching down the page. Titles scrolled past. Do not answer voices. Red rooms are not safe. If it remembers you, run. My hands stilled as I read them carefully, one by one. I opened a thread. A wall of text appeared, messy and unfiltered. It called my name, I answered. That was my mistake. Another post followed immediately after. Some of them do not follow the rules. If it focuses on you, leave the others. My eyes narrowed slightly as I continued reading. Then another thread caught my attention. If a boss marks you, it does not end when you leave. I stopped scrolling. Read that line again, slowly. It follows, the post continued. Not fully, not completely, but enough. Silence filled the room. I leaned back slightly, thinking. That explains it, I murmured. Not gone, just reduced, bound to me. I closed the page slowly as the screen dimmed. The room returned to quiet, but it did not feel empty anymore. I reached for the hairpin again, holding it loosely in my hand. I said I would show you, I said softly. The air shifted slightly, like something listening. I meant it. No response came, but the cold remained steady, present. Then a faint flicker appeared in front of my eyes. Text, brief and unstable. Connection detected. It glitched, then shifted again. Stability uncertain. Gone. I stared at the empty space where it had been. So this is not over, I said quietly. Not even close. I looked at my hand, at the hairpin, at the reflection behind me, at the world that now felt different. Hidden, layered, watching. And for the first time, I was not just part of it. It was part of me. If you made it this far, then you heard her too. And maybe, she heard you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of Jisoo and what happens next inside the horror domains. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching.